Hey guys, so right in this video I'm going to talk about my language learning story. Like many students in the United States, I started learning Spanish in grade school, and I had my first Spanish class in middle school and then continued to learn Spanish throughout high school. Um, I think I struggled, yeah, I pretty much struggled in Spanish. I considered it, yeah, not my best class, and I had a hard time understanding the grammar. I got lost a lot in class, and I wasn't really confident in my Spanish skills. I didn't think that I was good at language learning, and I thought I was bad at Spanish. I had a desire to learn the language, and sometimes I would get language resources like from the library, like Spanish CDs and try to do extra lessons outside of class to like get some motivation going or to try to improve and get better. But then I would eventually stop using the extra resources. And yeah, when I took Spanish in college as well. I thought I would just get my language requirement out of the way. And when I took my last class in freshman year, I thought that is the last language class that I will ever take in my life. Um, but then I went to China. I went to China the summer after my freshman year, and I took a Chinese language and culture class there for a few weeks, and that was a lot of fun. I loved it, and I was very excited about the language and culture, well, Mandarin Chinese, one of the languages. And when I came back to school, I took Mandarin Chinese 101, the beginner class, and I loved Chinese, but it was hard, difficult, of course. I think it's difficult for most beginner students. There's a lot to learn, and the class is trying to cover reading, writing, speaking, pronunciation all at the same time, and trying to memorize all of those characters, and I just didn't really have a good system for how to do that. But I was looking at some resources online and trying to incorporate that into my classroom learning, and but it was, I guess class was kind of embarrassing, like when I couldn't read the characters and you have to like read out loud in front of everybody, and you can't fake it. Like if you don't know a character, then you don't know it. You can't really try to, guess, pronounce it if you don't know what it is. Mandarin Chinese class, it turned out okay in the end, but I was just always stressed in class, so learning just wasn't really fun. Just always stressed about the quizzes and the tests we had. Like, how am I going to do? And yeah, then I didn't want to take Chinese class at school anymore, but I wanted to continue to learn the language, so I started learning on my own using resources on the internet, and I did that for a few months and did that on and off, just kind of practicing Chinese using apps. I'm kind of forgetting exactly what I used a few years ago, but I think I was using Memrise and using a lot of YouTube and yeah, anything I could find. There were a fair amount of resources back then, but now there's even more resources for Mandarin Chinese, and it's exciting. So, at that time when I started looking more into how to study languages independently, that's when I found out about the polyglot community and the language enthusiast community, people that love learning languages just because, and seeing that, language learning can be a hobby and a lifestyle for some people. So that was very exciting. Um, yeah, I was excited to see various like well-known polyglots do their thing, and that was when I first thought about, oh, I want to be a polyglot, but just kind of like as a dream, an idea. Um, but it made me think like, oh, it is possible to learn languages. People are doing it, and I can do it too. So, um, it wasn't. Yeah, I was studying Chinese on and off and progressing a little bit, but not being consistent with it. So can't get too far if I wasn't practicing every day, and I was kind of like losing motivation, I guess. But then, what year was that? A few years ago, I guess. 2016. Yes, 2016 was the a year of the return of languages. So that summer, I spent like a few weeks learning ASL, a few weeks learning Mandarin Chinese, and a few weeks learning French, which was the first time that I really engaged with the French language, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and then I got really excited about languages, but I was also interested in like some other topics too, like technology and such, but and coding. Well, those are also languages, other kinds of languages, but um then in 2017 I told myself that I was going to study Spanish, and I did practice. I finished, it took me about 3 months to finish the whole English to Spanish tree on Duolingo, and I did that. It was a lot of fun. But after that, I was like practicing every day. I was trying to work on like small habits, developing, yeah, daily language habit. Like even if it was just 15 minutes of study, I tried to do that. And but the after I did the Duolingo, I think I got kind of bored and I wasn't quite sure. I knew there were a lot of resources available, but I wasn't exactly quite sure where to go next. And eventually I stopped learning. But then I did a little bit more French, I guess, towards the end of the summer. And then I picked up Spanish again I think in September. From September 2017 to now, January in 2018, I've been practicing Spanish pretty much every single day, doing at least something in the language, and definitely every week. Yeah, so I ended up studying Spanish, I think, for like hundreds of hours, like maybe about I think over 200 hours since the beginning of 2017 through now. And my Spanish has definitely improved. It's not like amazing, but I've definitely grown, and I've made progress from the rusty high school Spanish for sure. Plus, better than that, like I just really love languages, and it's a part of my life, and I've come to learn more about how I learn and enjoy the process of language learning, enjoy the process of learning more about cultures. And I'm really excited about, where I am. In addition to practicing Spanish, I also dabble in other languages as well. I'm learning some basic Tagalog and basic Japanese for a trip that I have coming up in the spring, where I will be in the Philippines for a few weeks and be in Tokyo for like a day or two. And yeah, I'm just happy for any excuse to learn more languages. Like even though I'm only going to be in Tokyo for a little bit of time, I'm still like learning the language, so I'll be able to maybe say a few things while I'm there. And I have a few months before that trip, so I'll be able to practice quite a bit, and it won't be so rushed. And I'm not trying to get to a super high level in Tagalog or Japanese at this point, but just trying to cover some beginner questions and conversation skills, a little bit of tourist travel phrases and things like that. I think that was kind of like a general overview of my language learning journey so far. Thank you for watching this video. This is my first video ever posted to YouTube. and I'm excited to finally be doing this.